Hey guys, it's Di, and I was tagged by Mina, housewife of SC, for this video, and this is the tag video, Louis Vuitton Regrets. She actually started this tag because she thought it would be a great idea for us to share the Louis Vuitton items that we've purchased that didn't work out for us for whatever reason. And in my case, I have a number of items that were actually similar answers to hers, but I thought that this would be a great idea to share just our opinions about different things we might no longer own, just to give people that might be in a similar situation as us an idea of why things didn't work for us, whether it was size or whether it was just our body shapes or just, our situation. And then if you have a similar situation to what we're in, you might know that those things may not work for you and save you the hassle of having to deal with figuring out what to do with them. So I did really think that this was a great take idea. There's no specific questions or anything. We're just supposed to talk about the individual items that didn't work for us. So the first thing is the Louis Vuitton Eva, and I know that a number of people love this bag. I decided to give this bag a chance because I was needing something to go to downtown, to the aquarium, to theme parks, just trips with my kids, and to be hands-free. And so I thought I would try this bag, and I know that a lot of Louis Vuitton lovers out there really love this bag. And I tried it and it just was not for me. For me personally, it's a very long and kind of short bag, and the dimensions just didn't really work out for me very well for what I like to carry. I was carrying a zippy coin purse wallet in it, and then I like to carry lip glosses, my keys, my cell phone, and I found with that amount of items, it was really starting to get full and bulky and kind of pull at the zipper. It wasn't really easy for me to get in and out of it, and I will say that although I think the plate is very pretty on it, the plate really was not my thing. I was just always afraid of scratching up against it. This wasn't the most practical bag for my life, and I really did not like the dimensions on it. So that is one bag that I sold, and it was in my collection in a very short time. I realized fairly quickly that it was not going to be the bag for me and didn't really work for my situation. The next bag on my list is something that you guys will probably all recognize for your collection, and I know a few people have been asking, is this bag still in your collection? People were asking when I was doing the updated wear and tear videos if I still had this, if I could do one, and the answer is no, I no longer have this bag, and it is the Neverfull Damier Ebene in the MM size. I had this bag for a number of years. I liked it before I had kids, but then after I had kids, I just really felt like it wasn't the bag for me. I know this is a classic Louis Vuitton style that, again, a number of people really love, but the fact that it didn't have a zipper really bothered me. I really like these days for my bags to have zippers. If you have kids, if you're in the kind of same situation where you have others with you, you're bending over a lot to get down at their level. You're bending over to pick up things that they've dropped. You're bending over to put them in strollers and grab their shoes and whatever else that you're doing down at their level. And so I'm not comfortable with the idea of having a real big open bag and things potentially falling out and that sort of thing. And also the idea of people being able to reach into it, although, I'm not really been in a situation where I've had to worry about that. That just makes me, kind of uncomfortable to know that it could happen. So that was one bag that I decided to go ahead and rehome, and I actually was able to sell it to one of my friends, and she's now happily using it as a diaper bag. So it all comes down to personal preference. I know a lot of my friends actually use the Neverfull, either the GM or the MM size, as their diaper bags where they put all their baby things into it. So it's just one of those things that you have to go with your individual personal taste and situation as far as whether things will work for you or not. The next bag on my Louis Vuitton regrets list is the Tivoli PM, and if you guys have seen my recent videos, you know that the Tivoli GM is one of my absolute favorite bags. And I had this same conundrum happen with both the Tivoli and the Palermo. I bought one size initially. I figured out that that size didn't really work for me, but I loved the shape and style of the bag, so I got the other size, and I'm currently owned and really love the other size of the bag. So I initially started out with the Tivoli PM in 2007, right after it came out, and I bought it, and right away I could tell wasn't necessarily going to work. I didn't have kids at that point, and so I didn't really have to worry about being hands-free, and I especially liked carrying bags in the crook of my arm, but it was just a little bit smaller than what I was wanting for a bag. It carried just the essentials and literally nothing else, and I just felt like maybe it wasn't a great fit. So I didn't have that one too awful long. I think I had that one maybe about a year or two, and that one was rehomed. And then I ended up getting about a year or two later after that, and that was after I had kids at that point, the Tivoli GM, and I love that size. The Tivoli GM works out really great for me. The Tivoli PM was a little bit on the small size, and even when I was a lot smaller before I had kids, it fit up on my shoulder, but it was not a real comfortable bag to carry on my shoulder, and I really, really like having the option of being able to put it on my shoulder somehow if with bags, if it's, you know, at all possible. So that was the other reason. I just kind of felt at that point it just really wasn't the bag for me. So, like the Tivoli, the Palermo, I started out with the Palermo GM size, which is the very, very big tote size. And I love the style of the bag. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous bag. In fact, I keep having to kind of keep myself from wanting to buy it again. However, it was just too big. It's too big for every day. It would be perfect for traveling, or if you wanted a regular designer bag to use as a diaper bag. But I like keeping my purse and diaper bags separate. And then I had tried that out, this bag after I had kids. We're not doing a ton of traveling now. We maybe go to Disney World once a year, something like that. Go visit the grandparents a couple times. But I don't really need a really big travel bag for those instances. And so it just really never got used when I owned it, so I rehomed that one to use the funds for something that I could use a lot more often. I actually ended up selling the Palermo GM and then getting the Palermo PM to replace it, and the PM size is a great everyday size. The GM is a beautiful, beautiful bag, but the Palermo PM is a little bit better for every day. So that's my saga of the Tivoli and the Palermo situation. So I tried out the initial size for both of those that didn't work for me, ended up with the other size that did work for me. And another thing that is on my tried it and didn't really love it at the time that I tried it list, and I hope I don't get lynch mobbed for this, is the Speedy 30. And I know, it's a classic Louis Vuitton style. A lot of collectors own it, a lot of purse enthusiasts own it. It was a really pretty bag to look at, but it drove me nuts how short the handle drop was. I like carrying bags in the crook of my arm, and you know, they were long enough that you could hold it in your hand, but that was really about it. It was not a comfortable bag for me to hold on my arm, you know, kind of in your elbow, and it seemed kind of hard to get things in and out. I never tried a purse shaper or anything like that for it. I just wasn't super enthused about trying the Speedy bandolier in the future that has the long strap that you can wear crossbody. I've really been mulling over it because of the opening, whether or not it would work for me. I do love the look of the Speedy. I just didn't think the one without the strap, longer strap, worked for me. And I really love wallets and accessories and bag charms and banjos. And so if you guys have seen my accessory collection videos, you probably know that. But a lot of times I get things and then they just sit, because if you've watched my what's in my bag videos, you realize that I tend to use the same accessories over and over and over again. For whatever weird reason, I love getting accessories, but I don't change them very often. The two things just don't go together. So some of the Louis Vuitton regrets that I have are bag charms. I've owned in the past the Topage bag charm, the little fishy one with the purse, and neither one of those, I no longer own either of those. Now I did just buy the new bag charm with the carousel on it. I realized that as I'm saying the statement, I just bought one. But I really feel like I'm going to use that one because it's bright pink and one of my favorite colors. The fishy bag charm was cute, it had the purse on it, but it was just a little bit too subdued for me. I love the look of them, I love them in pictures, but then when you actually go to the function of them and actually throwing them on your purse and then going out to Target with it on your purse, there's just a disconnect there for me, where I love it in pictures, but actually to have it clinging on my purse wouldn't necessarily be something that I would want. With the Topage charm, it actually made noise. I have high hopes, my fingers are really crossed, that the carousel charm will be the charm that I love. And honestly, I love that charm so much, I would just put it on my keys and use it as a keychain. It's a really freaking expensive keychain, but I love it that much. It's that cute. I love that color pink, so that's how I justified that purchase. So that being said, all the other bag charms that I've had were, you know, things that I don't think I would buy again. At this point, we'll see if I come back 6 months from now and retract that statement. But bag charms are definitely on my Louis Vuitton purchase regrets list. The next one also falls into the accessory category of this disconnect of things I like to buy versus things I actually use, and those are bandeaus. I absolutely love buying these things. They're these cute little scarves. You can tie them on your purse, and I probably tie them on my purse about twice a year. I love buying these things. They're so pretty, and you can get different prints, and you know, I just kind of really get into that whole kind of variety thing. However, I don't use them as much as I could or should, and so I have a number of them that come in and out of my collection. I used to have the violet splash one. I no longer have that one. I've had some others. I've had a few of the map ones, and I only still have one color of that one left. And I'm trying to think if there's any others that I don't have any longer. The Comite bandeau is the only bandeau I will say 100%. I snapped that up. My store in Troy, Michigan had one of those left. It was left over long after it should have been gone. I saw that in the store, instantly fell in love with it, and absolutely no regrets there. That is my favorite bandeau. I would wear it sparingly, but that is something that when and if I ever become just a collector for the sake of being a collector, I definitely want to have that in my collection. It's just really, really cute and pretty. So that is something that I have enjoyed. Accessories, most of them work out for me 100%. But I will say I have bought and sold the Zippy coin purse wallet like 6 times now. Down to just one of them. I have it in Rouge Fauviste, and my plan is to not sell it and just never get another one. It's not a super practical wallet for me. It's very small. So that's the main thing I have to keep reminding myself, is that, you know, I want to have just a usable amount of things, and one Zippy coin purse is enough. Other thing is those Vernis cosmetics. As much as I'm an advocate of Vernis being very durable and something that I think you shouldn't have to worry about in your bag, you know, getting messed up or whatever, the Vernis cosmetics always made me very, very nervous. I've had these in Violet and Palm, the bright red color, and I sold all of the Vernis cosmetics that I have because I just felt like with the dimensions, I wasn't super comfortable that they weren't going to get messed up or get color transfer on them. And I never had any bad experiences with them, but I never wanted to use them because I was always afraid the corners were going to get rubbed off and that sort of thing. So those are things that I sold and probably will not buy again unless I buy the dome shape kind, because it just seems like that dimension works a little bit better. And then I do have 2 things on a Louis Vuitton regrets list, but this is a little bit different than the original intent of this video, and that is Louis Vuitton items that I regret that I sold, that I wish I still had and wish I'd held on to. The list is not very long. Like I said, there's only 2 items, but the first one is the Palermo GM. And I know you're going, but that was just on your other list. And the reason is, even though I didn't use it and it didn't really work out for me, there's been a ton of price increases since I, you know, bought and sold it, and now to buy it again, I'm going to be spending almost like double to buy it again. So when and if I ever have a need for it again, I'm really, really going to be kicking myself that I sold the one that I had for as little as I did. So I really do miss that bag. I don't think that it would get used that much. I do regret selling it though, because I let it go at a phenomenal price, and I think it's something that maybe someday I'll have a use for once we start traveling a little bit more and that sort of thing. However, you know, what's done is done and I can't get it back, so I'm just going to have to deal with that in the future, and it will be what it is. And the other thing is, if you guys remember from one of my original collection videos that I did, I used to have the Framboy Agenda, and I sold that whenever I bought my iPhone, because I was thinking, oh, you know, my iPhone will keep everything in here. It'll be one nice, neat spot that I can just keep everything. And I realized a few months after I sold the Agenda and a few months after I had started trying to use my iPhone for everything, a few different things. it's really annoying to try to type in everything for your schedule, and that the system of trying to keep everything in my iPhone agenda or calendar really didn't work for me. I'm a person where I really want to write it down. I have to have that visual. And so I actually just got an inexpensive agenda from Staples to keep all of my home planning things in there and preschool at home planning for the girls. But I'm looking at some point in the future maybe acquiring another Verni agenda to keep in my purse, because it's just nice to have that place to write down notes to yourself, to write down our schedule, to have a place to refer to things when you're out. And I absolutely do not like referring to my iPhone. So that is something that's on my regrets that I sold. Probably should have just hung on to it, but you know, I will find one in the future, and maybe one of these new pinks will be for me as well. So that is the Louis Vuitton regrets tag. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Those are all the things that didn't work for me for whatever reason. If you guys will notice, it's a lot of things that people absolutely love, which I kind of feel bad about. But like the Niva, the Speedy, the Neverfull, those are like kind of the main staples of Louis Vuitton, and they just did not work out for me. Luckily there were a few, like the Palermo GM and the Tivoli PM, that I was able just to get the other size, and the Tivoli GM and the Palermo PM work out great for me. And then accessories is just always a constant struggle of remembering and reminding myself to only buy what I need, I love, and I'm going to use. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.